Bowderdale Head is located at the north end of the Howgills Fells in Cumbria, within the Westmorland Dales part of the Yorkshire Dales National Park. The Curr family has farmed here since 1964, myself, Mark, being the third generation. We're running 650 Swaledale ewes on the farm, approximately half of them going pure and running up onto the Howgills Fells, and the rest going to the Blue-faced Leicester Tup. We have rights for 640 ewes plus followers and 220 hogs on the fell, grazing the fell for roughly 7 months of the year, between early April and just into November. For most of the year there's only probably less than 50% of the rights are actually used, which is quite a common theme across many fell farms, due to this fell sheep being less profitable now than they were. So today's task of gathering the sheep was the end of August for spaining the ewes, so weaning the lambs off the ewes. Together with, we gather at this time of year to dip the sheep, to treat them or protect them against sheep scab, lice, and giving them a fluke dosing. Our heft runs up Bowderdale Valley, so it's about nearly 5 miles from one end of the valley to the other. We go up on the quad bike to the far end, and then 3 of us walk back down the valley side, as it's too steep for quad bikes, and one person coming along the edge with a bike and a dog to sort of dog them in. The key part is having sort of quite good dogs, so one of my friends, he came and helped us for the day. He's quite well dogged. It's a big part of gathering sheep, is having good dogs, and the better dogs you have, and the easier it is. At the end of the day we had about just shy of maybe 1,000 sheep in the yard, of sort of ours and various neighbours'. Quite a lot of sheep, took quite a bit of getting through. Various breeds, mainly Swaledales, quite a few of the traditional rough fell sheep, which is local to the area. A few Chivets, a few Herdwicks mixed in, so a bit of a mixture of breeds.
What have you been doing?
Been gathering!
And how old are you?
4.
Well done. Did you enjoy it? Give it a big whistle.
The Howgills Fells is a large area of land, going from Sedbergh in the south in sort of a triangle area towards T-Bay and Ravensdale, with each farm having its own heft within the fell. It's classed as an open common, so there's no boundaries between any hefts within the fell. So when you gather the sheep, roughly we look to get 75-80% of our own sheep when we gather them. A lot of them, because there's no boundaries, they will wander off onto other people's hefts, and then when we gather our sheep, we'll get other people's as well. So the task after dinner today was to sort the sheep, sorting them through the shedder, running ours off in one direction, and we tend to sort the two different directions either side of us in opposite ways through the shedder as well. And then later on, other people will come and either pick their sheep up, or we'll swap them with other neighbours if they've been gathering. We spaying the lambs at this time of year to take them off the fell and bring them onto lower down ground that's had quite a bit of a rest. Gives the lambs a chance to grow on and do better. It also gives the chance for the yows to have a rest. They'll go back up to the fell for another 6 weeks, 2 months. Give them a bit of a rest, get them back into condition, ready for breeding again in October, November. So I'll start the year again. As the lambs they'll spend the next few months on the in-by ground, where they'll sort of get split off into wethers and gimmers. The wethers will get fattened either on farm, or a lot of farms will sell them store, go to a finisher. As the gimmers, so they'll run around for a little bit at home and sort off the best ones that we're going to keep, and they'll go away for winter onto sort of dairy farms mainly. Ours go up to Wigton, and then the year will start again sort of from now onwards. Every farm has its own flock marks for their sheep, so generally there's sort of 3 or 4 different identification methods. So each sheep should have 2 tags with an individual UK flock number, which is unique to each farm, together with a farm name or surname of the farmer, and then an individual number as well. One of those tags should be an electronic tag, so it can be read electronically, digitally, and it'll come up with the the flock number and the individual number. And each sheep each farmer should all have their own wool mark, which is a branded like a colour, or generally black or red, blue, sometimes orange, can be used, green, and each farmer will have their own either a letter or different marking placed on the sheep. And then there's, especially like the horn sheep, there can be a horn burn on the sheep, and the last one is probably the safest one, is the ear mark of the sheep. So each farmer will have their own ear mark, taking a notch out of the ear in a different place, or ours is sort of an underbit, which is like a bit of a half moon circle under one side of the ear, and then a fork, which is a bit of a triangle out of the opposite ear. They're good ways of identifying the sheep. So when we're sorting the sheep, generally it's quite easy. You can tell as they're coming down the shed here that you can see, judging the flock mark, whose they are. Occasionally you'll get the odd sheep where the marking's rubbed off, and you'll have to either read, tag, or look at the ear marks. But generally it's fairly easy as they're coming down the shed to see whose they are. But it's quite a task where you can't really take your eye off the ball as they're coming. The sheep will run down the race quite fast at you, and you've only got a split second or two to glance at the sheep and look at it and work out whose it is. And if you get them wrong, you can soon waste a bit of time looking through them sheep afterwards, making sure that you've got your own, or you've sorted the neighbours into the right pens. And if you've got them wrong, you can spend a bit of time later on in the day or the day after swapping sheep with somebody if you have got them wrong.